Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Interjections podcast. This is a podcast subtitled The Undiscovered Decade because we take a look back at some of the hidden gems of the 1990s. We look back 30 years from the episode you're currently in to see what might have come out at least this month in March 1996. So we're up to our 81st episode. Yeah,
Good Lord.
I know. We've been doing this too long. You'd think we'd have the formula down by now.
It's a work in
Who
progress. It's an
raise
evolving project.
Raise your hands if you knew it was daylight savings time before you went to bed.
I had been told, but I forgot.
I was told that it exists, but I thought it was a month from now, so I was wholly unprepared.
Myself as well.
So
Challenge mode.
either way, we're a little punchy. I guess you could say we were flirting with disaster by not
Hey,
knowing what time it was. So let's take a look at our spinner
Wheel
wheel.
of Doom. Wheel
Wait,
of
that
Doom.
also explains why Jimmy's not here. He
Yeah.
overslept.
Yeah, he's overslept. That's all
Well,
it is this
no,
time.
Jimmy's out saving the daylight.
I should ask him his pick of the month. This early. Maybe he'll get back to me in an hour.
Jimmy's off saving the daylight.
That's me.
Corey.
All right.
This is going to end up, I'm going to have to do it like 6 months in a row.
Damn, Jeff's got the whole back end of the year. Yeah, so here's the rundown. Flirting with Disaster is David O. Russell's sophomore effort and revolves around Ben Stiller, who plays Mel Coplin, new father, finds out, well, he knows that he's adopted. So he goes to an agency run by Téa Leoni to find out who his biological parents are because he needs to have some sort of meaningful connection with his child and find out his roots. And it becomes a wacky series of misunderstandings as he meets different pairings of people who could potentially be his parents.
He's just one good guy and his wife and his little baby in a bad situation.
And an adoption agent for some
And an
reason.
adoption agent.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much it, but it is a lot of hijinks. How did you feel about the plot overall? Like it's a decent idea, but how did you feel about the execution of the film?
Spotty. I think by the second mishap, it becomes a little monotonous already and it's predictable.
Had you ever seen it before, Corey? Because I don't think Jeff and I had. I know I hadn't.
You know, it's weird. I've liked it less each time I've watched it.
So,
I think
so
maybe
let me
3 times now.
Let me ask you though, was it predictable because you've seen so many movies like this, or do you think it would have been as predictable when it came out?
I think it was also, I went into it thinking David O. Russell, he wouldn't do anything this high concept, but a lot of this misunderstandings are very sitcom-esque and superficial. Maybe it's my fault. I expected something a little more sophisticated with the humor.
Well, I wonder if that's because you know David O. Russell's filmography at this point.
Yeah,
I've seen almost
like
all of his
his
films except for his first one, Spanking the Monkey, which became kind of a rocket hit for him. I found this interesting. He had worked for a bunch of random outfits. Like he went to Nicaragua to teach Sandinistas literacy. And then, yeah, he was working in Boston doing documentaries about relief efforts in like homeless communities. And there was a New York Art Council and a National Endowment Center for the Arts gave him money to make his first feature. And he didn't do what he said he was going to do. Instead, did a movie about an incestuous relationship between a mother and her son. And it was kind of an indie hit. He ended up having to return the money because he lied about what he was going to do, which sets a precedent that in hindsight we know David O. Russell to be fairly accurate about. Not necessarily money, but that he's kind of like questionable. I think it's interesting. He rockets out of the gate with something that's it's a black comedy. Like,
Right.
how are you going to sell an incest?
That's not an elevator pitch.
Right. So to go to something that's
well,
a little sitcomish is surprising, only in hindsight to me. I wonder if he veered towards
maybe
something that was more traditional next.
maybe he thought it was more like
It's
you
more
ever see
commercial.
you ever see Sherman's March?
Yeah, it's great.
Where it's like he got the money to make a documentary about, the route that General Sherman took, but then about a quarter of the way through, it turns into this existential thing where he's like trying to reconnect with his ex. It was something very, along the same lines of,
And he runs afoul of Burt Reynolds.
rate,
Yeah.
something very on par with raising the money for an entirely different project. I don't think that guy had to give the money back though.
No,
But
I also, that isn't what happened for flirting with disaster. I'm saying I just
no.
wanted to put out my fun fact that it was a
Oh yeah. Well, I
very
know because you
odd start to his whole career. And
right.
so maybe he backpedaled so that he wouldn't get screwed out of an entire career next. That
The
was my
reason
point.
Yeah, the reason I asked that question to you, Corey, was because what I was saying to Tristan when we watched this was it felt very proto Meet the Parents.
Hmm.
Like Ben
Yeah.
Stiller worked on this movie and was like, I could do something similar because it's got a lot of that similar, like, not necessarily slapstick, but walking in on awkward moments comedy.
This is like the launching pad for that whole subgenre with him. Because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people attribute it to like there's something about Mary. I think this was like it in its embryonic stage, which I think they perfected a little bit better with the Farrelly brothers.
He did also do The Cable Guy this year, which isn't as awkward or at least as traditionally a sitcom-ish pratfally type of comedy
He,
like those other ones.
yeah, he does more of
Um,
an embarrassment type of shtick where he's like
Yeah.
abashed every time he does something.
but not in his directorial efforts either. So
No,
I don't think
Yeah.
I think Stiller became pigeonholed as figurehead of that kind of comedy, and
right.
maybe because of something like Flirting with Disaster.
Yeah. I mean, the plot it went deeper than I thought it was going to. Because the whole thing is, as Corey touched on, he's trying to find his birth parents so that he can, really understand his life and finally name his kid, which is just like, you got that bit of whimsy where it's just like, oh no, we haven't named the baby yet because I need to, that's my goal is I need to know thyself before I can do that.
Yeah,
And for some reason, he teams up with the most incompetent caseworker from his adoption agency, who I guess is also working on her doctorate, opting to use his little misadventure as her thesis. So she follows them around with a camera all the time, but clearly, like, all of the important moments, like she places all this effort on, oh, we need to the reunion is the most important part, and they get to the door of the woman that's supposed to be his mother, and she puts the camera away.
yeah. The whole
And we're
time she's
like,
not really.
but the logic there is, well, there's a much bigger camera right next to us filming the whole thing, and then it becomes a whole meta thing. Like, is this movie just actually
Actually,
the
you know, and
filmmakers are following all of them around?
Hmm.
it probably would have been better if like a Christopher Guest mockumentary.
Yeah,
They had done something like that.
Yeah,
but it
which there's no improv per se, so I don't know how
no,
much they're.
Well, there may have been improv.
Yeah.
In terms of the casting, I think it's a star-studded cast for sure. Yeah, because you got like veterans like Lily Tomlin in there, George Segal. Then later on you got Alan Alda, Mary Tyler Moore, stuff like that. I
well,
think that his adopted parents, who are played by Mary Tyler Moore and George Segal, are stereotypically Jewish, which is funny for about 2 minutes, but then it gets a little incessant.
Yeah, they don't really change throughout the movie.
No.
right. That was the whole thing. There was no arc really. It was just them running into these particular situations. Yeah, it's sitcom
It really is.
stuff.
I think when they land in Phoenix and they mistake person in a van about to carjack them just because they'd been warned by George Segal slightly, they could have ignored that and been the better adults. But it was a situation that became comedy, and it just
It did.
set the tone for the rest of the adventure.
It was
None of
supposed
that,
to
it's
be.
a thin premise. The guy was returning his coat.
Yeah, no one would do that.
Yeah, I
A.
don't think that would
I don't
happen.
know,
So I was
not in
gonna,
that extravagant a situation, not
no,
chasing them down on the highway.
no,
They'd return to the lost and found and hope the person came back.
yeah.
Or at least that's me.
No, I
Again,
agree.
is that just me or is that too outlandish a
It was
situation?
far-fetched.
That set the tone for me for all these other situations where like then we're spying on Téa Leoni thinking, okay, why didn't she use the camera? We're like now looking for stuff that isn't it doesn't make sense. And we shouldn't have been sitting that way, or at least I shouldn't have been.
You know what I think was a deft setup and payoff was the stuff with Richard Jenkins and Brolin.
In
You
what
know,
way would you say?
well, just because you
Oh,
initially
right.
think they're just bickering because they're partners, but then you actually find out they're also romantic partners. So I thought that
Hmm.
setup and payoff. And also they got good chemistry. I thought the two of them. I thought the movie started to come alive more when they showed up.
Yeah. I didn't think they'd have as big roles as the cast list seemed to have, but
And they
I
were
was happy they were there.
they were the cops that got involved. I forget how they got involved. Did they get pulled over?
So
Did they left their car on the side of the road with the
it
keys?
was the second situation. They go to David Patrick Kelly, who is supposed to be Ben's father, and he's kind of a scumbag,
Right.
maybe. You
Yeah.
don't really understand him. And then he lets Ben drive his truck 5 minutes into meeting him, which at least is set up a little better. Like, you just
I,
met your son, maybe. Let's like catch up after however many years. And he backs the truck immediately into a post office. And so the cops put them in jail and it's a federal offense, so two federal agents are distributed. I think they had, like Corey said, great chemistry. Interestingly, this was nominated for GLAAD Awards.
Yeah, because
oh, for that depiction?
I
Yeah.
guess, yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I think it was because, we were talking about this. They refer to their relationship as a marriage, even though that was, not really legally a thing back then. But
Yeah.
it's just, people have long-term partnerships. It was a really good representation because it wasn't stereotypical. They weren't like, being overly flamboyant. They weren't like it was just a fucking realistic depiction of a gay couple that's also like
Having trouble.
having trouble and also happens to work together. That was probably one of the best parts of the movie for me was their whole involvement. And then when Richard Jenkins takes LSD. But or is
He
sorry, is dosed with
yeah, he didn't choose to. He sold that really well. I also did like Alan
he
Alda
strikes me as
movie.
the type who would be pulling from reference.
Yeah, I did like Alan Alda and Lily Tomlin once everyone shows up at their house. I
There.
think I think their conclusion is a little sitcomish, but I think everyone's chemistry once they're in the finale was pretty good. So I actually kind of like the bookends of the film, the setup and the payoff. The journey getting there is a little
Bump.
bumpy. The fact that they're hippies kind of makes sense for the two actors, and their chemistry wasn't bad. Literally, I think he had a good trip. So
Yeah.
yeah,
How many different sets of families did he
just three.
families? Yeah, so it was
And it's really a mom, then a dad, then the two. And you notice they're all kind of connected because they mention people. Celia Weston, the first woman they meet, mentions who it might have actually been, and it sort of ends up being Lily Tomlin. And David Patrick Kelly kind of mentions the guy that he knows stole his woman, and that's Lily Tomlin and Alan Alda. So I think they're
Right.
all connected.
Oh,
The Téa
okay.
Leoni
See,
actually did a
I
good
didn't pick
job.
up on that. I didn't pick
Yeah.
up on that.
Good job.
Yeah, the reference to something sexual that Celia Weston mentions is actually something that Lily Tomlin kind of refers to later. It's offhanded, but
There's a weird thing in that scene with Celia Weston, one of the sisters that
oh, the
comes
twins,
to play
yeah.
volleyball.
Yeah.
The one on the right is Howard Stern's wife,
Oh,
Beth Ostrowski.
interesting. Oh, yeah, I saw her name and I wondered why I recognized her.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
probably just seen her, absorbed her from your fandom.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I did like some of the moments, but maybe I was expecting, like you said at the beginning, Corey, it's a little more high concept from Spanking the Monkey, more
Yeah,
high concept from Three Kings and I Heart Huckabees. Maybe it's that I wasn't expecting such banal jokes. I don't
yeah.
know.
I don't know. It was
I just
sporadically funny, but it wasn't consistently. It didn't, and also I don't feel like it had a comic escalation.
I just
Yeah.
want to pour one out for Patricia Arquette in this because she was very underutilized. She was just there to
Mm-hmm.
hold the baby,
Yep.
which is
Well,
kind of
that's part
sad
of the
because
point of the movie.
yes, but other than like laying herself out in the first 5 minutes, and it was like, oh, this was a Cory pick, wasn't it? But
Oh well.
past that point, she was just, kind of I mean, she was just underutilized.
She's kind of a foil for Ben Stiller more than she is a partner of Ben Stiller.
Not really a foil because like he
And not a good
was
one.
he was his own foil. He was like
Yeah.
not,
That's usually the case in these movies with him. She's
Yeah.
just there to be the supportive wife. She's got a thankless role.
Well, they didn't really write anything for her to do. The main
Nah,
obstacle for her is that Ben Stiller is maybe going to be cool with this
unfaithful.
unfaithful. Yeah, it's then she has Josh Brolin thrown her way. He kind of offhandedly also mentions he's bisexual, so it makes sense once you realize he's also gay.
and they knew
Yeah,
each other from a past life too.
Sure.
right.
That was
So
the
and
other
she
connection.
she never seems interested in him whatsoever. She's just happy he
Showing an
remembers
interest.
her, I guess. Yeah. But once he tries to take a shower with her, she just, I barely cared and lets him lick her armpit. There's the weirdness that David O. Russell has in stuff like Spanking the Monkey, but he doesn't lean into it enough, I think. It just doesn't make this film stand out, is what I'm saying.
No.
None of the comedy.
Yeah, with a cast like this, that's like a frittered opportunity, unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe it would have been better if they improv more. Maybe they didn't improv and this is too
Maybe.
close to the script, or maybe having such a high caliber cast lets our expectations get ahead of us, you know?
Yeah.
I'm thinking to my point, I don't want to like speak for both of you, but I need to not be as hung up on stuff like logistics. Like you brought up, Jeff, that the fact that the marriage wasn't legal in Michigan in 96, I was looking that up while the movie happened. I should not distract myself with that sort of thing.
Comedies, you shouldn't
It's
be thinking about
no,
that.
but it's an interesting thing though. Like it's the type of thing that you're watching this and you're like, wait a minute, this timeline doesn't match up. It's more adding a different level to it. It's not like it was just something to notice to like put it on a different level than say something talking about Mary.
Mm,
Like there are these deeper things, and that's what makes it feels more like a David O. Russell piece
sure.
from later days.
Right.
And it's just, it's more elevating the piece than anything. That's more what it was, because
Yeah.
it was groundbreaking in that thing, and that was why we were looking it up. I can't imagine sitting there in the theater watching this and being like, "Hey, wait a minute."
There's a
But
gay couple in a
but if
song.
you're
Yeah.
right, but if you're a gay couple who has been in this same situation watching this in 1996, it's gonna put a better taste in your mouth than,
Mm-hmm.
Josh Brolin being, walking on in a fucking boa. So I don't know.
No, I think you make a good point. You're verbalizing what I think I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like we have David O. Russell's our expectations for his films, his and the type of comedy that he's known for isn't necessarily represented here. The same with the cast, as to Cory's point. To look up stuff like logistics is to want Russell to be better.
I mean, it's also to your point though, we shouldn't really be looking at our phones as much while watching it.
That's what I was
That
also trying to
was,
say. Yeah.
yeah. So that was more, but we were doing research into the piece.
Trying to think of I want to say good things about this film because I don't want to say it's a disaster necessarily. They
No,
they
it's not.
flirt they flirted, but they didn't completely blow it. Because I still think Patricia Arquette has great timing. I think Ben Stiller has great timing. Like we're saying, he's going to become the prototype for this type of awkward comedy. There's a reason he's perfecting it here and then bringing it to things that get more money.
You know what I think it is? David O. Russell's not good at it, establishing a tone in this. He grounds it from the beginning, but then there's outlandish situations that don't quite fit.
Mm.
Whereas in the Fairley Brothers universe, outrageous things will happen. You'll be like, I'm not even thinking twice about this.
Yeah, they're on their own level and they never veer off. Yeah. So maybe it was that he needed to pick a lane. Is this a heartwarming comedy or is this a slapstick comedy? I mean, you can have both, but there's a way to knead them together to make
Right.
bread, I guess.
Hmm.
I will give him credit for getting some comedy legends together. I think you looked it
Yeah.
up, Jeff, that he tried to get Dick Van Dyke to play the Alan Alda part.
Yeah, which would have just been, oh, his parents are from the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
The Petries, yeah. It would have been cool, but I do think it's neat that they have one of the biggest male actors from MASH and then the one from Mary Tyler Moore come together. So he still kind of gets it.
Yeah.
And Lily Tomlin's from Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, and George Segal's in all those comedies from the 70s. So it does work. And I think even if some of them stay stereotypes, actually I think they're both stereotypes of the two respective types of parents you could have. They still play it with verve. They try. They're not phoning it in.
You think it'd be too on the nose if they put Jerry Stiller in here?
No, it would be funnier if they had his actual parents as ones who were not his parents.
Like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
Like
somebody
they turned
else.
out,
Like
yeah,
if Anne Mira had been the first woman and Jerry Stiller was the guy with the truck.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then they both
That would
completely
have been funny.
dismiss him.
Yeah. He really looks like Jerry too, so
it does.
you know.
Also, real quick to go back to an important plot point. I don't know if we
Mm.
touched on it.
Yeah.
Did we touch on the fact that he does have a bit of a fling with Téa Leoni?
We didn't
It
explicitly point it out, but
But
it
yes,
does.
to go back into just how bad a fucking psychologist she is.
Yeah, she hooks up with her
She hooks
subject.
up with her, right. But that was also like a whole dynamic between him and her and Patricia Arquette. I guess just designed to add tension.
Entanglements.
Yeah,
felt-
that's the word.
It didn't feel tacked on per se, but there was no build to it. It just I think there are moments, but I don't think it was effectively portrayed as building.
Well, there's a part where she like needs to get the schmutz off the lens, so she uses her dress.
Right.
Use your
Which
garter.
I saw that and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be someone walking in. But then they're literally just like hooking up in the hallway. And I'm like, that part seemed kind of like, all right, this came
Sure.
out of nowhere. Like I
Sure.
remember looking up and like, oh wait, that's happening.
Yeah, looking up from our phones. Yeah.
From researching the piece.
Yep. How to become adoption agent.
That's a thankless job.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently.
Gotta find your kick somewhere along the way. Do you think she was just bad at her research, or do you think all of that was intentional?
Premeditated?
Yeah, trying to get
Premeditated.
him to. I think that would have been more
'Cause-
interesting.
Yeah.
So I
think
like
it
that
was
idea.
Grand scheme all along, I think would have been better, yeah.
Like if she's out to get him, but then does that make her seem like a stereotype in some way that's negative? Because she's trying to be her own independent woman. She's going through her own divorce. We do learn that stuff, but
Oh, right.
I guess they
it's-
would have made her unlikable.
I think he wanted her to stay likable in some way.
No, I was more getting to what you were saying, how there were little breadcrumbs with each accidental visit pointing back to Alan Alda and Lily Tomlin. She acted as though it was a horrible mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And my question was more like, do you think she actually was making a mistake, or do you think it
Oh
was,
no, we went to the wrong place.
or do you think that was her trying to
Yeah.
skew the data? I don't know.
I think they could have
Yeah, make
told
the
us that
documentary more
better.
interesting.
I think they could have told that in a better way. Like Patricia Arquette shoehorns herself into this trip in a way, but
Right.
you're kind of just like, okay, I guess the three of them are going together. Why are all three of them together? They don't really
So that
ease it in.
hijinks can ensue,
Right.
Right.
so that the
Yeah.
movie can happen.
Right. And so I think, again, we could look to logistics to say we wanted to know right off the bat. It would be better if they were less subtle about things, if they're going to be broad in other ways. I think that's what it comes down to. They needed to pick a lane, like Cory said, at least with this subject matter.
Yeah.
I know you looked up trivia. I don't think there were too many fun facts about this, but
No, it was all just alternate casting.
yeah, Burt Reynolds, I think I saw, but he heard Burt Reynolds was a little combative on set, so he thought that would be a bad idea.
Get that reputation. You think that-
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
it
funny
wasn't.
looking at the black kettle.
Yeah, because then David O. Russell and Ben Stiller didn't get along either.
From
Russell
what I
doesn't
hear,
get.
Ben Stiller didn't get
Although
along with a lot of directors back then.
John
Mm.
John Cusack was considered for the role of Mel.
He might have actually been better.
That would have been, yeah. Imagine John Cusack being Dick Van Dyke's real son. I feel like that,
Ooh,
right?
that'd
Hmm.
have been great.
Yeah,
That would have been interesting.
He worked with Dick Van Dyke later, though,
right.
in Night at the Museum.
Janine Garofalo was almost a psychologist.
I think
She
she would have
turned it
been
down.
a better fit.
Better?
Yeah, she turned it down. Yeah, and then it
I like
was.
Leoni, but I think she might have actually been better as the wife.
I agree.
Maybe even switch them or have Janine Garofalo be the psychologist in that trio, you know.
Janine Garofalo's got an edge to her, so I think she would have been better.
Yeah, maybe Leoni and Arquette are just a little too similar.
Probably she turned it down.
Yeah, especially after working with on Reality Bites.
Yeah, and they worked together on Mystery Men and his nominal TV show, so that's good.
Maybe it's that timing was an issue. Maybe she had another project.
Maybe it was timing.
I like putting in our guide different awards that or accolades these films have. This actually had quite a few more than some of our other ones do because we often pick things that are considered bad, or at least recently have. And this actually was nominated for quite a few things, including the Indie Spirit Awards for director, screenplay, the two supporting actors, Tomlin and Alda. One interesting one that I found, they actually did win one award. It was Tomlin and Jenkins actually got nominated for the Indie Spirit Awards. So that LSD trip did result in something.
Well, they were the best parts.
And they're the two that move on to I Heard Huckabees, in fact.
That-
The thing I wanted to bring up is there was an award called the Clotrudis Award. Mary Tyler Moore won Best Supporting Actress, though she tied with Juliette Binoche for The English Patient. You've never heard of the Clotrudis Awards, right?
Mm.
So I looked them up last night because obviously if this was the only win for Flirting was Disaster, I wanted to know what it was. And apparently in 1995, there were two roommates, Michael Colford, Bridget Rawding, and then another person, Trent Stevenson. I guess they were all roommates in Andover, Massachusetts. And they had two cats, Chloe and Gertrudis, and they combined their names to make their own awards because they were fed up with how the Oscars were going.
That's what you're doing.
They thought that independent films were not being represented enough, so they made a rule for themselves. They could only nominate things that had not gotten to more than 1,000 theaters. And while I was making this guide, I found it interesting that this film, Flirting with Disaster, only got to 960 theaters. So it truly was, at the time, considered an independent film. One interesting note is that it debuted at 20th on its first weekend in March 1996.
Yes.
It actually rose through April. It reached the top 10 in its third week, went up, and then back down, and then fell off by May. This actually was quite successful for as independent as it was. It was made for 7 million and got 14, so it doubled its budget. These two people that made the Clotrudis Awards, they awarded it for being one of the better independent films out there. And that's, like, to your point, is something that I've been doing for 25 years. Things still around, just 6 years older than mine, but they
Yeah.
have a whole society that's dedicated to them. People have come to their award shows like Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's
Maybe
kind of
one
a
day.
yeah. It's what I wished the Edgars had been. It's just funny because they named it after their cats, which and people accept it as a pretty decent award though.
I want to know what the word looks like.
It's a cat on a stick.
Oh,
Yeah. Apparently by 97 they had they decided to, and this is maybe what we should have done, Jeff, when we were in high school. They mailed the ballots to the nominees. That's how they got noticed. They just found their addresses and sent them these things. And Jeff Daniels and Kevin Corrigan returned their ballots in the third year, so it started getting notice. Kind of cool. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know that Mary Tyler Moore ever knew she won it, but she did.
Just an anonymous award package shows up on her front step, and she's like, "Put it with the others.
What is this?
Put it on the mantle."
She flips it in the air and freeze frames.
Yep. Do you guys want to give grades? Have anything
C.
else you want to say about it? Oh, C. All right. Wow.
You go
For
see.
comedy. No. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was just C plus. Fine. C plus.
For once,
I will not elaborate further.
we're in agreement on this. I'm going C plus. It's episodic by nature, and just because of that, it's a little uneven.
Mm-hmm.
I think it gets funnier in the later episodes, but the first like half is pretty dry.
Yeah. That might be why I'd give it a D plus. D plus for dry.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You picked this.
I did because I love David O. Russell.
D for David O. Russell.
Sorry, bud. This is probably my least favorite of your films.
Well, here's the thing though. We're gonna run into this. We've always run into this. When we watch the earlier works of a director that we know and love, in the beginning of their craft, we have to assess our expectations a little bit.
Sure, give them a little grace.
Right.
Yeah, because like they weren't David O. Russell in 1996 was not David O. Russell today. So like,
Not fully
and
formed
same
yet.
thing with anyone.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
the last thing that I saw Patricia Arquette in was Severance.
Huh?
Severance.
Directed by Ben Stiller.
Right. But she's incredible in that because she's had 30 years to improve her craft.
Right.
Watching this movie, it's like she was underutilized, but also like I think if anything, this film shows how much of a jumping off point this movie was for people.
Mm-hmm.
It should be recognized for that.
Sure.
It's like seeing the starting line.
All right, C plus.
Yeah, it's
Wait, you gonna have a whole letter grade for
You
that?
got me. You got me. Yeah.
all right.
I do, to your point, I think it's very important for these people's careers. This got Russell Three Kings. This pushed Ben Stiller towards something like There's Something About Mary. This got Patricia Arquette more performances in the later 90s, like Bringing Out the Dead for all we know.
And
Téa
this was-
Leoni has her sitcom right after this.
Yeah, this was like what, in his second role
Yeah,
ever or something.
basically. She had
Second
Bad
major
Boys.
movie. Yeah.
That's
She's
right.
one of the baseball players in A League of Their Own, but she has one line, maybe.
Remember her even in that?
Yeah, I think she's on the opposing team even. I don't think she's one of the Peaches. I remember once I knew she was in it, I saw her the next time I watched it, but I do think it is neat. Mary Tyler Moore barely was in theatrical features after her TV performances. She did a lot of TV films. So this is-
Ordinary People.
right, but that's at this point 16 years ago.
Yeah.
So even since then, she hadn't gotten a lot out there. Segal was still in a lot of things. Alda got an Oscar nomination after this. Lily Tomlin was in plenty more things, but it's nice to see her in something that was even as independent as this is, as big as this is.
Right.
What did Alda get his Oscar nom for?
The Aviator.
Holy shit, I forgot he was in that movie.
Yeah.
Fantastic in that movie.
Kind of a
I mean,
career award.
I
but
also haven't
it
seen
was
that in
good.
like 16 years, so
Holds up.
Yeah. So I think you have a good point that this is not meant to be the best film of the year. It's meant to be something that delights us and is, in hindsight, the hidden gem is for the nature of their careers.
Right.
it's a March comedy.
There's other movies that came out in March, my friend. So speaking of veterans coming back to the screen, up close and personal was Robert Redford's return to the news bullpen.
Mm.
This time he's as a station manager who's lording over Michelle Pfeiffer's reporter. They have a romance that blossoms as she's getting her sea legs for journalism. This is kind of what Robert Redford does, unfortunately. And I love the guy, but he gets a little too saintly. And I don't buy their May December romance. He's a little too avuncular in the role as the mentor. I don't find.
I'm sorry, avuncular. Can we break that down for a second? I need,
Welcome
Like
back.
an
This
uncle?
will be no new segment. Corey's $5 word of the week.
Like an uncle?
Oh, is that really what avuncular?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Do you think it's like broadcast news? That's what they were trying to get at.
I think they were, but like every element they bring up about the newsroom is kind of trite that we've seen before. They wanted to change her hair to make her more accessible to the public, which it's funny. They wanted to have like kind of a beehive hairdo and like a bouffant for the Philadelphia station. And I'm like, I don't think that would make a difference around here, but
That is interesting. Are they trying to broadcast to other cities?
no, she's just in the Philadelphia affiliate, so
Oh,
she
okay.
didn't buy that.
Well, we didn't know what it was like for Philly in the 90s. I didn't. You see a lot of beehives when you grew up?
No, I saw a lot of blonde bombshells, which is what she reverts back to later on, so it's kind of weird. They give her like a Connie Chung haircut.
Yeah.
It's weird.
She was big in 96.
She was. You worked with her husband.
I did. I saw her. I did not see him.
Yeah, which is weird. It's his show.
Well, she had her offices at the same location.
Oh, okay.
Maury Povich we're talking about for the kids.
So yeah, up close and personal, I think is kind of lightweight fare for Robert Redford. But in the 90s, he was kind of doing that between this and Sneakers.
Yeah. Sneakers is good. Liked that episode we did.
A beloved sequel that Tristan is a big fan of came out this month called Homeward Bound 2, Lost in San Francisco. Nowadays, they would probably get the animals to have CGI mouths. They do like a Clutch Cargo kind of thing, or they would just be pure CG.
Yeah, they'd be pure CG. It's super
If
dog.
you muted the movie and didn't have subtitles on, you just see a bunch of reaction shots of animals with no context. And they're just talking telepathically.
Yeah, it's great.
I kind of wish they had no audio tracks. Like no voiceover.
Like
It's like a
the
Babe
bear.
Pig in the City
Yeah,
situation.
like the bear.
Yeah. Well, even Babe, their mouths moved, don't they?
Did
Their
they?
mouths
I
moving,
don't
babe.
remember.
Yeah. That's what changed from the first Homeward Bound.
Right.
Because Homeward
But
Bound
they
comes out in
didn't
93,
much
Babe's
right.
95.
Right.
Yeah.
I do remember that. I remember watching the first one. They were in the woods somewhere. That
They
was.
sure
Yes.
were. It was an incredible journey.
I
This
did
time
not
they just
know that there was a sequel.
This is Homeward Bound
Recasting in this
Dogs
is
in the City.
Shadow.
Yeah, Donna Michi passed away in December 93, right after the first movie came out. So they had to replace him. They have Ralph Waite, who played Pa Walton on the Waltons. He does an all right job, but I noticed when I rewatched it last night that
You rewatched it too.
I think the focus is obviously on Michael J. Fox's Chance.
Yeah.
So Shadow mostly just butts in and is like, "Oh, we gotta save Chance. Oh boy, I hope Chance is okay." And then Sally Field, as Sassy, handles most of the conversations with other animals.
Right.
So I noticed that they barely have Shadow as a character.
Well, he's not even established at the beginning. He just kind of,
Yeah, he's kind of an afterthought, unfortunately. He's the primary dog in the first movie.
yeah.
But he's the old timer. There's the young pup. It makes more sense in the first film. I still liked it. It's very much a kids film. So the first one I think is both a better film for all ages, but
Right.
it also makes more sense. So
This isn't a bad movie though.
I remembered every line though. I must have seen it enough that it's just in the back of my head.
I didn't like that main kid though.
You didn't like him?
No,
Jamie?
he was a jerk.
Jamie has been too cute. What's the family's planning to go to Canada? They're packing up, and he's like, "I gotta go play baseball in the sandlot over here real quick." Made no sense. What a little punk.
Man, I like him.
Help your parents out.
Not a fan of him.
I will say that I did not remember as much as Shadow doesn't talk. Shadow's owner, Peter, his only lines are like, "Is Shadow okay? Is Shadow fine? How's Shadow doing?" It's
Here's
like
my chance.
no, he doesn't think about anything else. At least Sassy's owner is like, it would have
Yeah.
been nice to go camping, but not without you, Dad. Like she actually has other lines. None of those kids moved on to do anything else. So,
I like the cameo from all the sportscasters at the
oh,
beginning.
that was fun. Yeah. They do have this thing, Jeff, where at that sandlot that I just mentioned, there's some other dogs commentating on the game, and they're real life commentators. Like Bob Euchre's playing like
Trixie Euchre.
it's
Love that.
fantastic.
This is like,
Just loving
you
it.
know, Homeward Bound walk so that Zootopia could run. Like that's
Yeah.
Yeah. So a remake of a classic Phil Silvers TV show came out this month, which was Sergeant Bilko with Steve Martin in the lead role, which actually I find to be a very frothy, very funny comedy.
Did you rewatch it or had
I
you watch
did.
it?
It holds up. Jonathan Lynn's a really unsung comedy director. He did Clue, My Cousin Vinny, Hold 9 Yards. He's really good.
Okay. I remember liking this as a kid, but I don't really remember what happened. So I tried finding that actually.
Okay, yeah.
Settled on Homeward Bound.
That's a really good army comedy, and it's got Dan Aykroyd in a supporting role as
Hmm.
well, and
Two-
Phil Hartman.
Two of
as-
our early actors from our podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd.
That's right. Loose Cannons.
Yeah.
LA Story.
Yeah, exactly. So wish we'd done a Phil Hartman movie.
I mean, I guess we still got time a little bit more.
I think this is it.
Well, Small Soldiers coming up,
That's true. We should do Small Soldiers.
and Jingle. All the
yeah.
Way.
Apparently they're doing a sequel.
I don't want that.
Allegedly. Well, I mean, I love that movie, but I also know that it's definitely more relevant these days.
Well, toys, I don't know.
Well, not toys, but like, you know, AI munitions chips and
That is
Oh,
the plot,
sure.
isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, that is literally the plot, but it was 30 years ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Speaking of military technology, well, I don't know if this is a good segue or not. This has to do with the military, okay?
Okay.
Executive Decision came out, which some people say is their favorite Steven Seagal movie, and I can guess why. Do you know that twist, Jeff?
Let's assume I don't.
Okay, it's marketed as Steven Seagal action thriller on a about hostages on this 747 that he has to rescue. But about I want to say half hour in, he dies. So the nerdy tech crew are the ones that have to rescue the people on the plane, which are led by Kurt Russell.
Okay, that's actually kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's really taut, well done action thriller.
Yeah, I want to see it. I've never seen it, but it might be my favorite Skull movie. I did like Under Siege.
Under Siege is good. This was towards the tail end of his career when he was making a lot of demands, and people were like, "I don't even want to deal with him." I'm sure he might have even been scripted to
Was
be.
this where the John Leguizamo beef comes from?
Yes. According to lore, John Leguizamo said that because Steven Seagal was the commander of the group that he was in, that he came in and said, listen to me, whatever I say is law. You're gonna follow every directive I give you. And then I guess Leguizamo started laughing at him and he hit him in the chest and made him lose his breath.
Yeah, nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy.
Isn't this like his last theatrical film?
I think he's still got On Deadly Ground. No, we just
Oh, we
discussed.
did that. Yeah, that was one of our
Uh,
movies of the month.
I think he's got like Fire Down Below, and then his movies start going to direct to like TV, and then he has a little bit of a resurgence with Exit Wounds, and then goes back down right after that with Half Past Dead.
Yeah, I think Half Past Dead was in theaters, right?
Yeah,
I
it
think
was up against the first Harry Potter.
it
I
sure was. I remember that. And I was fine with it failing.
remember.
So,
A great farce came out this month, The Birdcage.
ooh,
This is also a remake of a French film, which I've never seen, but I mean, it's a script by Elaine May and directed by Mike Nichols. And it's got a cast of Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, Gene Hackman, Diane Wiest,
Calista Flockhart.
Melissa Flockhart, and Arlington.
She's good in that.
Hank
Yeah.
Azaria.
Oh, Hank Azaria. Yeah.
Now, this is the one where the comedic momentum continues to ratchet up. I think Mike Nichols does this perfectly, whereas David O. Russell should have took some notes off of this. You know what I mean?
It's also funny, Jeff mentioned Josh Brolin didn't walk in with a boa, but Robin Williams sure did.
Well, yeah. And you know what? They play the two contrasts because Nathan Lane's the more flamboyant of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And Robin Williams flirted with being straight in the backstory of the movie. That's why he has a son.
Mm-hmm.
So he seems like the more traditionally masculine of the two.
Yeah, the straight passing, I guess.
Right.
It's a pretty good movie.
It's a really good movie. Gene Hackman, a rare screwball role. Really good.
Mhm.
He's frightening as a woman at the end, though. I will say. Here's a movie I know Jeff has probably either seen or heard of, and it's the Coen Brothers' Fargo. Probably their masterpiece, some might say.
Never seen it? Uh-oh.
Never seen it.
What? Put it on that ever-growing list.
It's on the real list.
Good.
Tell you that much.
Yeah, maybe
I'm gonna take my headphones off
do
for
that.
a second.
I'll give you a thumbs up when we're done.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
is this your favorite Coen Brothers movie?
You know what? I've gone back and forth on this movie. I loved it when I first saw it, and I watched it again. I didn't really care for it, and I've reappraised it again, and I love it again.
Okay.
It's up there. I think Raising Arizona might be my top, but this is like a solid number 2.
I rewatched this as well last night, so I paired it with Homeward Bound too. But I noticed more things about Peter Stormare this time that I hadn't
He's cool.
initially. And I didn't realize Frances McDormand doesn't even show up for half an hour.
Right.
So it's fantastic that that's who you think of for Fargo. That's how good she is in this movie. That she's emblematic of it. And
Deservedly won that Oscar.
yeah, and I can see why William H. Macy was so lauded. He carries the film for the first half hour.
Right.
Everyone's great in it, though.
It's not to diminish Buscemi and Peter Stormare, who have
Right.
great chemistry.
I almost could have seen both of them being nominated as well. You had to pick from the three guys, and which one are you going to include? It's really the prototype, I think, of their success. When I think back on their entire filmography, it has the best of both worlds. The crime, the serious nature of a killer like Peter Stormare's character, and the slapstick comedy of like, oh, you betcha. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, we saw them, but it's not quite in either direction, but it's the best mix, I'd say.
Right. They could have made her like a bumpkin too.
And she's genuinely smart.
Yeah, they infuse her with dignity as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the scene with I forget his name, but the old classmate that
The Asian guy.
yeah, it's kind of sad that he needs someone. And she lets him down so lightly, but you see her pain face like she knows how to handle crime situations,
Yeah, she's got that very warm home life with John Carroll Lynch.
which is great. He's so oblivious to what's going on in his town.
Yeah.
The terrible murders and everything.
Right.
You finally understand why they're so great, I think, by now, by 96.
Oh yeah, they've established a repertoire of things. A lot of their comedy is not only pitch black, but it's a lot about disorganized crime. So they're not bumbling to the point where they're too screwball in this,
Hmm.
but they're also not tacticians with their craft.
But that's the Steve Buscemi of it. He's almost like what's the Tim Robbins one?
Oh, the Hudsucker Proxy.
Right, he's a little cartoonish, but he's not absolutely bonkers like a Hail Caesar. But then you
No,
have
yeah,
Peter Stormare is straight out of Blood Simple.
yes,
And William H. Macy is straight out of something like Burn After Reading. Everything keeps piling on top of him. He could even be You're a Serious Man
right.
character. Like he's in over his head and he keeps digging himself further.
Again, they navigate the tones perfectly in this, though.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know that this is necessarily their masterpiece, but I understand when people say it is.
Right.
Welcome back.
What? It's like I was in a dream.
It's crazy that Ewan McGregor did so well in that movie.
Billy
John Hamm showed up. Chris Rock.
Bob Thornton.
It's like the Avengers.
Have you ever seen any of the show? I know it's not a straight adaptation or anything, and
No.
not a
I heard the
continuation.
first season's great, and I probably
No,
should.
I'm very behind on the Coen Brothers filmography, and
Yeah,
the show I didn't see any of either. So,
yeah.
Don't
It's
watch it.
more who's the showrunner? David Hawley? Hawley?
No, no, Holly.
Noah Hawley. Yeah, it's more his baby than anything else. I hear it's good.
He got their blessing from what I heard.
I gotta get to that.
That's on your list.
Yeah, I did just add Fargo to our list, Jeff.
okay.
Yeah, it's easily one of the best films of the year, though.
Yes.
Can see why it wins Best Picture.
We'll be bringing that up during our best of.
Maybe we'll watch it by then so Jeff can talk about it too.
There you go.
You have 9 months. Speaking of which, I just wanted to call out the great poster. Do you know what this is, Jeff?
I'm gonna guess Fargo.
Yeah. Would you have known that if we hadn't covered Fargo
Yes.
just now? Yeah.
Yes, because I've seen this poster before. But is this the poster for the movie or for the...
The movie, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to showcase it because it's such a good poster. We thought about
Yeah.
doing it for Poster Boy instead of highlighting it as Corey's #1 film, but it's just so nice. And we thought you'd know it right away, even just from this. Like
Yeah,
if I took
I
all the elements out.
because I had seen all the the poster design is similar for the TV show, so.
Yeah. I just love the stitching in this
Right. Yeah,
Yeah, it looks
it's
like
great. It's an incredible
and the quote,
poster design.
homespun murder story. So here's your real Poster Boy.
Oh boy, I know exactly what this is.
Have you seen this?
I have,
Okay.
and I've got a fun story about that.
I'm not gonna
oh,
hide
good.
what it is then, but
So, well, first let me describe.
it's
So this is there's a crew on top of a submarine behind two, I guess, like they're cruising in front of, I guess, two larger submarines meant to imply certain bodily
Amen.
things, and then there's a bunch of
what do you
fighter
mean?
jets up in the air. This looks like
What bodily things?
they look like boobs, my good sir.
Boobs.
This looks like
So crude.
the kids today would call it AI slop, but this was a real person made this.
God.
Someone got paid to design this poster for a movie starring Kelsey Grammer, Rob Schneider. Is that Lisa Kudrow?
No,
I
it's
forget.
Lauren Holt.
Yeah, I can't see who the other ones are. But this is down Periscope.
That's true.
Isn't it?
Nice.
So
Just
I
a
can
bunch
I
of
can still go through this a little bit.
a comedy about naval warfare, if I recall.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing war games.
Yep.
Yes.
So you already know what the plot is, but I was gonna, if you for some reason had no idea what this was distracted by something else on the screen, I was gonna be like, maybe this will help because that's a ridiculous little logo they added on top of the other three subs.
Yes.
It's a sub with a shark mouth
Smoking a cigar.
coming through.
With bubbles coming off of the cigar.
That's true.
So hang on, no. We're gonna analyze this. So
Okay.
the sub, shaped like a shark, has a sailor hat on, aviators,
Mm-hmm.
red aviators, a lit cigar, and bubbles coming out of it. This is something fucking Pete Hegseth would pick for
For
the Navy these
Operation
days. Right.
Down Periscope.
I'm really surprised that like someone should present that to him and be like,
No, don't give him any more ideas. Anyway, I only blurred out Kelsey's face just in case you wanted to take a stab at who you would have cast as the leader of this ragtag band of misfits. I remember liking this as a kid. This is another one we saw in theaters at Edison, but I don't know who you would have cast as the leader. I think Kelsey's a good pick for this, honestly.
I think he was fine, but this was my first exposure to Kelsey Grammer because I did not see Frasier until later. But
9 cheers.
so
You're not a Frasier
I've
head.
never watched Cheers. I
Wow.
have to. It's on the list. So my story about this. when I was a kid, I think it was like 8 or 9 or something. The first time I went out to Las Vegas, we went out for, my uncle's wedding, whatever. But back then, you had one movie on the plane that everyone had to watch, whether they liked it or not. This is before all of this streaming, yada yada. You could watch whatever you want on whatever channel, and everybody had their own little individual experience. No,
None of these required headphones.
there was one movie on the plane that you either watched or you didn't do anything. And that movie was Down Periscope, starring Kelsey Grammer. Both ways.
Mm-hmm.
So on the ride out and on the ride back. Now, the flight to Las Vegas is about 5.5 hours, which means they could show this movie almost 3 times in a loop.
Horrifying that they couldn't just play another movie.
I don't know how the deals worked back then. Like,
So
I
this
don't
drove
remember.
people insane on the way to the West Coast.
I
is what
don't
you're saying.
remember much about it because I think I was like too young to really appreciate what a cinematic masterpiece this movie was. I remember my parents being kind of disappointed that, like, really, this is the
Yeah.
And also, I didn't even think it was the theatrical cut because I think it was also like, it was formatted for
Families.
families
Yeah.
and like
So it's probably
so
even shorter.
it was full screen, 80 minutes.
Oh God. So now that you saw
So I
it
would like to actually watch it like with
for real, yeah.
knowing, for real now.
You probably had to, like a bus, had to watch the one screen that was above the front panel. Is
Uh-huh.
that true? None were on the back of seats back then.
Yeah, because
Awful.
this was 1996. This
Yeah.
was or 97 maybe was when the
Horrifying.
trip was, but
Sure. Well, now that you were pitched this film via the worst possible way 30 years ago, what would you give as a tagline?
up your arsenal. No,
Oh, pretty standard, honestly. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised.
subpar. No,
Oh,
this team is above board but subpar.
I'd reverse it, but I like the
Yeah,
idea. This team is
subpar
subpar, but will
above board.
become above board or something.
Yeah, some
We can
sort of naval
workshop it.
pun, some sort of naval pun, but also like because they've got the periscope and then they've got the there's a Jolly Roger on the back of
There
it.
is.
I don't remember. It was just like an airplane situation. Like I don't even
Well,
remember.
it's not a spoof.
Yeah.
Well, I'll remember that at the end of this.
Oh, real quick, going off of this. Also in Vegas at the time, after seeing this movie, flying out there, Steven Spielberg used to own a theme restaurant in Vegas
Mhm.
that was literally called Dive. The whole thing was submarine themed. I got really into submarines this summer partly because of this
Yeah.
movie that led into this whole misadventure.
So you're almost in the Navy.
Right. And then they had one of the cool things about Dive was they had like these giant like it would be an LED wall these days, but it was just a bunch of like flat screen TVs and flat screens in the 90s were like these fucking behemoth plasmas that they had stitched together. But it was supposed to look like you were underwater. And then they had these periscopes up on the top floor that actually went up out of the roof so you can look at the strip from periscope. And
That's
then
kind
they
of
had
neat.
like they had all sorts of merch and stuff. I've got a hat somewhere kicking around, and then they had like stuffed submarines and
That might be
it
worth
was
something.
just it was like a family thing. But yeah, so it's just like I inadvertently got really into submarines that summer because of this fucking movie.
Well, you're in luck. Next year, Titanic had the Bill Paxton sub heading there.
Yes, and the whole thing took place underwater. But anyway, what was this movie about, Cory?
Oh, so it's about Kelsey Grammer is a disgraced commander of a battleship who's reassigned to this jalopy of a battleship with a ragtag team of misfits in a series of war games.
Okay.
Okay, the
You
real
can tell that
tagline.
from the poster, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, totes.
Yeah.
The real tagline, a rusty
little
sub,
worried.
a rebel commander, a renegade crew. When destiny called, they should have hung up. Cool.
It's along the lines of what you were doing. You just tightened it up. I
Yeah.
think it's a better phrase. If you had all this, you were given the plot by the executive Corey Taylor, what would you call this? Not knowing the actual title, obviously. McHale's Navy.
Right. Enemy underwater. No, I think I would have just called it subpar.
Yeah, dot 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 subpar. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Down Periscope.
So you mentioned earlier, it reminds you of, is this an airplane situation? The alternate poster truly gives that kind of parody.
This is the fucking Titanic in the background and the
Yeah, they
giant
have
duck and
free birds in the back.
yeah, this does
There's something funny lurking in the water.
the most dependable cruise is the Titanic. See, this is a better poster, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
The other one makes it
Oh, yeah.
seem it feels like they were trying to cash in on like the Top Gun type thing last
Uh-huh.
year. Although had Top Gun come out yet?
10 years ago.
Okay, yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so they were probably like leaning into the action part of it to lure people in.
Yeah, I like what's happening here. I wouldn't have taken anything out of this for us, but I just wanted to show you that they actually did a good job. And this is the poster I remember. Here's the second one.
Okay, it's a
Look,
baseball field.
it sure is a baseball field. So I'm gonna give you one more aspect. Who's this
It's
man high-fiving?
a dude in a red
It's
shirt
pinstripes like the Phillies.
Pinstrips, yeah, like the Phillies. I want to say, oh,
Oh God.
is this like a sequel to Dunstan?
Isn't that weird that only 2 months later there's a monkey with like blur coming off him so that he jumps?
That's a chimp. That was an orangutan.
Oh my God.
You're digging yourself a bigger hole, my friend.
They realized that the talking animal market was the talking animal market was booming in the 60s or the 90s, the 1990s, 1996s.
Why are the two monkey movies within a month of each other?
Was it the same monkey?
No. Again, it was an orangutan.
You can't tell the difference. Hey, maybe that's a good thing.
It is funny though. This is today, the 30th anniversary of Ed, and four of our films we just covered. It's weird that this is just on the heels of Dunstan checks in.
Is
Like,
this
why?
is that what this is called? This is called
Did I
Ed.
did I just say Ed? Ah,
You
shit.
did. It's
No.
okay.
Oh,
Nah, I
It's
blew it.
okay because I
Whatever.
wouldn't have guessed
give
it.
him the
Yeah,
points.
it's
In a
again
billion years.
like the other name movies. You would never have gotten Ed out of this. So, given this poster, what would you do as a tagline? I think that's what I'd have next.
The teammate you never expected.
Teammate, the prime mate.
The outfield is wild, man. I don't know. This is just so. What was the fucking obsession with like putting monkeys in movies
Or animals
back
playing
then? Or
sports.
animals playing sports? Like I'm trying to think of just even the premise that would get us to this picture.
Yeah, what do you think the premise is?
Like was the monkey like dying of some sort of terminal illness and he
He
wanted to
doesn't make a
play
wish.
baseball?
Did
Or he
he
like
did they notice him throwing like the kid from Rookie of the Year and
they
whatever,
were
we
like
suck anyway.
they walked through the zoo and this chimpanzee was hurling shit at them and they're like, man, what a fastball that one's got. Like that's the only how does this happen?
Yeah, I don't
How does
understand
this
it.
happen plot wise? How does this happen as a cinema project?
Yeah, Banana
As a
Ball didn't come up for another 28 years.
as a commercial release. Right. This was yeah, this see if you hadn't
This
told
should
me,
have been mentioned.
I would have
Yeah,
guessed
Banana Ball.
Banana Ball as the title.
Yeah.
Banana ball.
But I don't my brain's gonna explode. Someone please just like
You're right.
just put
What do
me
you
out of
gotta
my
give
misery
me?
here. What's up with this? Minor league major French.
Okay,
Can't.
so
I'm done.
wait. Wow. I was gonna ask him who played. Well, is Ed the monkey or is Ed the person?
Ed's the monkey.
I've never seen this, so.
Oh, he's back.
So who do you
Okay.
think plays Ed's friend?
Is Ed the name of the chimp?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a guy in a suit, by the
Could
way.
be anybody.
It is.
Ralph
The monkey's a
Macchio?
guy in a suit.
Yeah, the monkey's a guy in a suit.
It's not a monkey.
No.
It blows my
Is it
mind.
Ralph Macchio?
No.
No.
I would love that though.
I could kind of see that from the outline of the guy, but
Yeah.
he's on a hit TV show.
Right now.
Yeah.
Well, not in 2026.
No, not now, but back then.
In March 96, yeah.
The one who played Ed on no Tom Cavanaugh.
No.
Tom Cruise. Is it a big person or is it like
It's not a big name.
not a big name?
He's on maybe the biggest TV show right now.
Yeah.
But he's not the lead. He's one of the leads.
Be careful. You're about to say it.
Yeah, no.
Is it Nathan Fillion? I don't know.
No.
I want to say okay. Well, let me try to guess what show they're on then.
Yeah.
Grey's Anatomy.
No, that you're saying 2000s shows.
I'm not gonna. I have no idea.
You're blonking on it.
Please give you a hint.
Mm,
That doesn't help me at
I
all.
know.
Why don't you say the show? See if you can pick who it is.
Friends. Which friend would do this?
Oh God, Matt LeBlanc.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
there you go.
Oh, right. There was another tagline.
Heroes come in all shapes and sizes. Oh my God. See this
One is
this looks
Joey.
like this literally looks like the type of thing that would have been in the Joey universe.
That's what a bunch of reviews said that.
Yeah, Joey is better than this.
Yeah, I
This
know.
is the type of thing that Joey Tribbiani does.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this movie should have been a self-referential background gag on an episode of Friends.
What would you call it? I guess Banana Ball, right?
Yeah, that would have been.
Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Ah!
Ah!
It's just in
What?
middle of my editing. Did you like Ed, Corey?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But you like Down Periscope.
Down Periscope is pretty good.
Can recommend that. Yeah. I've never seen Ed, never had a desire to see Ed, so
Ooh, no, it's a train wreck.
Dunson checks in better?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That's the actual orangutan.
Yeah.
This is pseudomation with this guy.
Wild that I never knew there was a person inside the monkey.
They just did that recently with that primate movie too. It's a guy in
Really?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, no more monkeying around. We're gonna do our picks of the month.
Ah,
We didn't do Ben Stiller for heavyweights back last February because we did our favorite Judd Apatow. So I figured we'd do our favorite Ben Stiller.
Doing acting or
He hasn't done a ton of directing, so we can include directing, I'd say. But I'd say as his whole career.
I got mine.
it's a lot.
Mine's a kind of obscure one. Your Friends and Neighbors.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Neil
That comes out a couple years from now, right?
yeah.
Is that 2000?
98?
Where he plays Jerry, and the next film he does, Permanent Midnight, he's also Jerry.
That's a good movie.
Empire of the Sun,
That's a good movie too.
Where
That's
is-
where Steven Spielberg yelled at him.
one of the other kids. Yeah, what did he do?
If anybody remembers the movie, there's a part where there's a long tracking shot where Christian Bale's character goes out from the prison camp, gets a pheasant in the reeds, and brings it back. And it goes on for a good, like, maybe 7 to 10 minutes. It lands on him bringing it back to this quarters where Ben Stiller happens to be, him and a couple other characters. And he messes up his line and he said, cut. He's like, I guess you should probably cut then, right? He's like, who yelled cut? Who said that? Don't you ever say cut.
I'm surprised he worked in Hollywood.
Well, he's Jerry Stiller's kid, so.
Yeah. I have a good choice if you haven't picked something yet, Jeff.
I'm torn between two.
Okay. Well, if it's one of ours, I'm torn between two as well, actually.
Mystery Men,
Oh,
one of my favorite movies ever.
really?
Yeah, with a close second of his being Tropic Thunder.
Okay. I feel like those two might be choices that Jimmy would choose as well. So maybe I'll put both of them up. And which would you rather have? I'll give the other one to Jimmy.
Mystery Men.
The two I was torn between were the Royal Tenenbaums, where eclectic ensemble, I actually think he stands out the best. I like his story. You always focus on Luke Wilson and Gwyneth Paltrow's relationship, or the fact that Gene Hackman is the father to all these kids, but he really, I think the best storyline is with him and Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Finally accepting who you are as a son and a father. My other choice would have been The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Probably my favorite thing he's directed, and I think it's underrated now.
Yeah, definitely.
Cable Guy.
Cable
That's
Guy's
also
great.
a good one.
Yeah, it comes out in a couple months.
Zoolander's great.
Mm-hmm. Zoolander is one of my dad's favorite movies. He loves Zoolander. He's had a pretty good career. I know he's not done a lot recently acting wise, but obviously he has Severance and he did that Escape at Dannemora. So I think he's settled into his directing phase.
Well, don't worry, he has Fokker in Law coming out this fall.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
Not good.
Yeah. Or The Dink.
That might be good.
Speaking of which, they're doing a pickleball comedy. We were talking about like
Yeah, Dodgeball, so
if we took flavors of the month and made a comedy out of them.
Yeah.
what are we
Thank you
talking
for-
about
Thank
next
you for validating my weird opinions on
Mystery Men is
movies.
a great movie. Speaking of people that are on the job, the next film we're covering in April is a neo-noir where Nick Nolte plays a put-upon detective, Mulholland Falls. The reason I picked this, I vouched for this. You haven't seen it, right, Corey?
I've never seen it.
I liked the film. I think it's a good enough thing, especially because it's not as popular. But the director of the film is Lee Tamahori, who did Once Were Warriors and eventually Die Another Day, which I'm a little cool on, but I like Once Were Warriors. He just passed away in, I think, November. I wanted to honor him, mostly because I noticed we covered all 4 directors that had Pierce Brosnan Bond films. So this would be the last chance to get Tamahori without missing him. So, but it is an interesting film. We get to see Nick Nolte again. Michael Madsen's in it. So we have a couple of returning actors. Yeah, I think we'll like it. We'll see you next month. Otherwise, if I'm wrong, we're in a disaster.
Yeah. I quit.
Okay, I accept. I'm so sorry. Woof euchre or something. I don't know. Just thrilled
Sad
to
hand motions. Or maybe that's what the popcorn buckets are supposed to be used for.
I don't think that's urine. Yeah.
It was more like watching a pop-up video situation.
That was cruel.
Oh no, I made a terrible mistake.